to clarify, yes, foreign passport holders will be allowed, but they are still selecting which ones, or it will not be right away. So we are engaging with Israelis and Egyptians to prioritize Filipino nationals. After all, we are friends of both countries, no? And there are how many Filipinos? There are 136 Filipino nationals in Gaza. As of a few days ago, we were only able to be in touch with a number of them, and as many as 49 were not in touch with us because of the telecommunications blackout last Friday. But the good news, which I received just about an hour ago from our ambassador in Amman, Ambassador Wilfredo Santos, the 136 Filipino nationals in Gaza, all of them are accounted for because of the communications of return. They should be lumped together. Kasi ang mangyayari dyan, it is possible that at the Rafah crossing, they'll be calling all nationals of this country or this country or this country. So they should all be together. That's the guideline. No? They should all be together. Of course, they don't necessarily know each other, but they should all be in one place. Agad naman, Filipinos are good at that, in lining up together. And be ready at any given notice. They have the advantage of the fact that they are assisting each other and are in touch with our embassy. Now, and be ready at any moment. Again, possibly it will not be today because they will be prioritizing a certain kind of evacuee muna, yung mga injured, sickly, and wounded, but it could be as early as tomorrow or certainly by the weekend. So, and we are making representations with Israel. The other guideline is for those who want to remain. Yung tulad sinabi nyo, we're asking them to please reconsider because usually the only reason that they want to remain is because they don't want to leave their Palestinian relatives. Well, we're under mandatory repatriation, mandatory evacuation, alert level 4. They have to make that decision. After all, they could always go back to Gaza in the future when hopefully the situation should have normalized. So we're saying that, we're telling them that please reconsider. It is possible once the border opens that suddenly they'll start coming to the crossing, no more than 63. So sana ganun po. And there are 3 who are still in Gaza City. 3 who have insisted they will remain in Gaza City, including one Filipino nun of the Missionaries of Charity, and we honor them. We pray for her. She's asking for prayers. They are not injured, but of course, the situation in Gaza City is not at all ideal. So perhaps eventually they could also choose to be repatriated.
Right. On that note, Usec, there are indications, would you say that we may have to evacuate more Filipinos from the area in case you're saying that the conflict worsens or extends in duration?
Well, in Gaza, we have to evacuate at most 136. So if you mean the other areas, yes. For example, there is the West Bank, which is the other part of the state of Palestine. Of course, the Gaza Strip is between Egypt and Israel. The West Bank, which is not connected to the Gaza Strip, but is also part of the Palestine, or the state of Palestine, is between Israel and Jordan. And there are about 125 or 126 Filipino nationals there, of whom only 4 have indicated their desire to go home. But they are also being told to be ready because we have a repatriation program ready. And this time it won't be complicated. They won't have to go through Israel necessarily. I mean, instead, they will go through Jordan. Unlike the Filipinos in Gaza who have to pass through Egypt, which is a complicated feature, no? Because both Israel and Egypt are controlling that access. No? Then there is a situation in Lebanon. We are under mandatory, voluntary repatriation, level 3. They are aware of it, 17,000 Filipinos. So far, the situation has not escalated to the north of Lebanon. There are skirmishes. There's always skirmishes between Israel and Hezbollah militants in the south of Lebanon. However, there are already a few, more than 100 Filipinos who have signed up to be repatriated from Lebanon to the Philippines, and they'll be coming home in batches.
Yusek, I've been seeing in reports that there are also undocumented workers, about 10,000, I believe. Can you tell us more about that, and what are the guidelines for those undocumented workers for repatriation?
Well, what our embassy is doing is getting their Lebanese permits to leave. It's always difficult when you're undocumented to leave some of those countries because it's not just a matter of leaving or paying immigration penalty, like in the case of the Philippines, no? But there, it's a little more complicated, so that's what's taking some time. The guidelines, though, are this, that we're telling them, now we still have a repatriation program. It's still possible to leave via commercial flights. And by the way, there are a handful, about 6 who are arriving this Friday, the first batch from Lebanon. 6 arriving early Friday to the Philippines via commercial flights paid for by the government. So while it's still possible right now, take advantage.
Oh,
and the problem is they are saying they might not be able to return to Lebanon if they leave.